Well, hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Dray. I'm a board-certified dermatologist. Today, we are tackling some tough skincare routine-centric questions. But before we get into it, I want to take a moment and thank today's video sponsor, STYLEVANA, your online one-stop shop for all of the trendiest Asian skincare and beauty products. STYLEVANA aims to bring a wide range of affordable products and share the latest tips and secrets in beauty. Right now, STYLEVANA has generously extended my coupon code INF10 Dr. Dray. It's going to get you some amazing savings, and I'm going to break down the savings that my code will get you. That will all be in the description box. In today's video, I'm answering some of the top skincare questions I get all of the time. Everything from dark spots, visible pores, and sunscreen nitty-gritty details. We're going to cover it today. And I'm going to be showing you some products that you've either asked me specifically about or that I think will help in addressing some of these particular concerns due to their overall formulation and specific ingredients. Question number one, what ingredients actually help fade dark spots? When it comes to treating dark spots, what we're targeting is excess melanin pigment. Excess melanin pigment can be the result of inflammation from a prior skin issue or from sun exposure. Antioxidants like glutathione, niacinamide, ascorbic acid, ferulic acid can help with dark spots. Niacinamide specifically disrupts the transfer of pigment from the melanocyte to the surrounding keratinocytes, while ascorbic acid, depending on, of course, the product formulation stability, can help to inhibit the pigment-producing enzyme tyrosinase. Ferulic acid and glutathione are antioxidants. Now, when it comes to dark spots, that's going to be helpful for warding off oxidative stress that would lead to upregulation of more unwanted pigment production. But ferulic acid may actually help stabilize ascorbic acid. And if you've seen any of my videos on vitamin C serums, you know I'm always pointing out that a real limitation with ascorbic acid is that while it can be great for a variety of skin concerns, it's not the most stable ingredient. Well, ferulic acid really helps it out. As far as treating hyperpigmentation, of course, the gold standard is hydroquinone, but there are cosmetic products that can help in supporting skin needs for fading hyperpigmentation and getting more even skin tone. Of course, sunscreen is mandatory for this, but a great example is a brightening serum that combines a few different antioxidants. Now, one that I have shared with you guys several times and personally love is from Abib, their glutathione dark spot serum Vita Drop. This serum not only has glutathione, but it has 5% niacinamide and ascorbic acid to help brighten complexion. It's really lightweight and layers well under other products, so it's super easy to incorporate into your routine. Question number two, how do I treat both dark spots and rough skin texture at the same time? Believe it or not, some ingredients, they do both. For uneven pigmentation and rough skin texture, a combination of ingredients in a given product can really tackle these things head on. Something that actively brightens as well as supports skin cell turnover and supports the needs of the skin barrier, those three components together can really get you moving in the right direction for improving not only dark spots and skin tone, but in improving rough skin texture. Niacinamide, it is the workhorse of the skincare industry. There's a reason why so many brands want to put it in their products, because it does many things and many things pretty well for a cosmetic ingredient. Not only can niacinamide be helpful for dark spots, brightening skin tone, but it actually helps strengthen the skin barrier by boosting production of ceramides, lipids that play a key role in skin barrier integrity. Ultimately, this helps your skin to retain moisture better, as well as to protect itself from environmental aggressors. Then you have retinol or retinaldehyde. These are cosmetic ingredients that are forms of topical vitamin A. When applied to the skin, they can help improve skin cell turnover, epidermal maturation. With long-term consistent use, they can help to address dark spots as well. Believe it or not, they also can help with skin barrier integrity, although when you first start using them, sometimes they can cause some dryness and irritation. Tranexamic acid is another ingredient that frequently makes an appearance these days in serums aimed at dark spots, uneven skin tone. Now, while oral tranexamic acid is an evidence-based treatment for melasma and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, the jury is out as to whether or not putting it on your skin really does help to address hyperpigmentation. But what we have learned is that it seems to improve skin barrier integrity, helping with the moisture barrier, and it may also help calm down redness. There is one case study of applying tranexamic acid topically to fade post-inflammatory erythema, stubborn redness left over after inflammation leaves the skin. And remember, things that help to improve skin barrier integrity, another advantage of them is that in improving the ability of the skin to retain water, reducing transepidermal water loss. That bodes well for epidermal maturation because the enzymes that do that require good water content to function optimally. When water content drops, that's when you get a slowing down, a disorganization, and a buildup of dry, rough skin texture. Long-term improvement in barrier integrity leads to better skin texture, and sort of a brightening up of skin tone just by improved water content and light scattering. So the person who asked me about this question specifically, they then asked me about this new product, the Purito Sol Tranexamic Acid 6 Niacinamide 10 Retinal Serum. So this one is new to me, and it does contain niacinamide, tranexamic acid, and retinaldehyde for skin brightening. You might actually end up getting this bad boy for free in your STYLEVANA order if you use my code INF10, because they're including it as a free gift to the first 400 customers using my code. Now, a quick note about this serum though, it does have 10% niacinamide. Like I said, niacinamide is great for skin tone, moisture barrier, all of those good things. But the studies that we have show that it does well at 5% and less strengths to yield these beneficial outcomes. It's not clear if going as high as 10% leads to better results. In fact, in skincare, oftentimes it's the case that using more of a given ingredient doesn't even necessarily translate to better results, but in many cases can lead to more side effects such as irritation. So it's just something I wanted to bring up, and I often caution about these higher percentage niacinamide products. This serum also has kind of a tacky finish to it, which sort of feels sticky on the skin. Just something to be aware of in terms of layering. Given that this has retinaldehyde, you want to make sure to start using something like this slowly. Maybe introduce it a couple of nights a week and work up gradually to using it every single night as tolerated. Because in the beginning it will cause, through the increase in cell turnover, your skin to be a little bit dry. That is a temporary side effect. And as a side note, I have lots of videos on my channel about how to introduce this ingredient slowly and effectively to minimize the irritation. It's interesting because the retinaldehyde in this product is encapsulated, which is really good for the stability and the delivery of the ingredient. You can actually see the little spheres suspended in this product. As a matter of fact, when you get it, they separate out and you're supposed to shake it to distribute them before dispensing it into your palm to apply it to your skin. And the Abib glutathione serum uses a similar delivery system for the glutathione and niacinamide in that product. But in contrast to that product, one thing of interest in this one that I noticed is that the little spheres are a little stiffer, like you actually feel them on the skin, almost a little bit of a gritty texture. They don't dissolve and blend into the skin, melt into the skin as readily as those little spheres do in the Abib product. Another note of caution about this product is that you want to be careful not to get it to the delicate skin of the eyelids, around the nose, around the corners of the mouth or lips. Skin here is a lot more vulnerable to irritation. Retinaldehyde can be too irritating there. I actually suggest applying petroleum jelly to these areas before applying retinaldehyde to your face to minimize the risk that you will inadvertently transfer it to these areas and cause yourself some irritation like dry cracked lips or really irritated dry eyelids. Question number 3, what should I use when my skin barrier feels dry, irritated, or just compromised? Like maybe I've done a little bit too much damage using too many products. But as a side note, I hate barrier creams and heavy greasy moisturizers. Oh, I just can't stand them. And I actually think maybe they make my breakouts a little worse. All right, when your barrier feels fragile, you're experiencing a lot of dryness, redness, flaking, peeling, heightened sensitivity to things coming in contact with the skin, burning, stinging. Those are signs of an impaired skin barrier. Look for products with barrier supporting ingredients like ceramides, centella, and humectants. These help both restore hydration and skin resilience. Barrier creams, of course, are an excellent option for compromised skin and a frequent go-to recommendation. However, some people don't tolerate those heavier formulations, especially on the face. I actually think that a milky toner / essence can really step in here and help you out tremendously. These tend to be a lot more lightweight, not heavy on the skin. I mean, they're almost a fluid consistency, yet offer those barrier supporting ingredients, that burst of hydration that the skin needs while not weighing it down, and also layering well underneath other products so that ultimately you don't feel like you have too much on there. For example, if you use something like this in the morning and then of course apply sunscreen on over it, it doesn't feel too oppressive at that point. Now, a good example is the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Probiotics Barrier Essence, the milky essence that I reviewed a few weeks ago. This is a soothing, hydrating essence with ceramides, along with panthenol, a hydrating B vitamin, galactomyces ferment filtrate, bifida ferment filtrate, and aspergillus ferment filtrate. These ferments essentially enrich for anti-inflammatory and hydrating compounds, so they're really soothing on the skin barrier. This one has Panax ginseng root extract in it, which contains ginsenosides, potent antioxidants. I also want to point out that this product does not contain niacinamide. Now, as I pointed out here, niacinamide is wonderful for a variety of issues, including the skin barrier and compromised skin. However, I've gotten so many comments over the years from people saying, hey, I just don't get along with niacinamide. What can I use that doesn't have that? This product does not have niacinamide. So if that's you and your barrier is challenged at the moment, this would be a product to consider. It's great before applying other products or on its own as a standalone moisturizing product to help support and repair the barrier. Next question is, how can I manage visible pores and excessive oiliness on my face without compromising my barrier and drying my skin out? Your pores can actually look a lot more noticeable, believe it or not, when your skin is dry, the water content is low. And just because you have oily skin and you have a lot of oil on the surface of the skin, it doesn't mean your skin is adequately hydrated and moisturized. When it comes to reducing that shine, a clay mask can actually be super helpful. They work by absorbing that excess oil from the surface of the skin and from within the pore opening itself. And Korean skincare is a great place to go hunting for good clay masks because they have so many amazing options. Like, I don't think I've ever had a bad clay mask from a Korean skincare brand. One great option is the Skin 1004 Centella Poremizing Quick Clay Stick Mask. This one uses pink clay as well as kaolin, clays that again help to absorb that excess oil from the surface of the skin and from within the pore. And this formula also contains centella to help soothe the skin. It's not overly drying, and the convenient stick applicator makes it really easy to just apply to problematic areas like your T-zone where you tend to have a lot of shine. Apply it to a clean, dry face, leave it on for 5 minutes or so, and then rinse it off. Proceed to wash your face if you so choose. You don't necessarily need to use it every day, although you can if you find that every day you have a lot of shine. It's great to use in the morning before starting your skincare routine. Don't make that same mistake people were making in the 80s and 90s when it came to shrinking pores to try to dry out their skin. That is the opposite of what you want to do because, again, remember, when the water content is low, those pores become a lot more dilated and obvious to the eye. Instead, what you want to do is focus on a lightweight hydrating serum that can help improve water content, replenish moisture, plumping up the surface of the skin, and ultimately, by just volume, it helps to diminish the opening of the pore, making them much less obvious. The Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Poremizing Fresh Ampule contains centella and lightweight hydrators like hyaluronic acid and glycerin, as well as a variety of peptides that help to improve water content in the skin. Again, through improved water retention, you have a plumping and smoothing effect that diminishes pore size, and also just by improving water content and light scattering makes the surface of the skin appear smoother, more radiant, and those pores a lot less obvious. This is another one that does not have niacinamide. Instead, it has dipotassium glycerizate, which comes from licorice root and is an established cosmetic ingredient for improving redness and reducing irritation and inflammation in the skin. It may also be helpful for dark spots, evening out skin tone in the long run. Question number 5, how do I keep my skin hydrated while still layering sunscreen and active ingredients? Hydration is essentially the foundation of a healthy skin barrier. Again, that water content is key for helping those enzymes do what they need to do to maintain barrier integrity. Hydrating essences and ampules really sink into the skin quickly and feel a lot more lightweight while replenishing moisture. And they also don't pill when you put sunscreen on over. Products like the Haru Haru Milky Essence or the Skin 1004 Fresh Ampule that I just mentioned are great for this. They're lightweight, they're hydrating, and they're easy to work in and compatible with both a morning and or an evening skincare routine. Yeah, you can use these twice a day. All right, this has to be one of the most common questions that I get, and this is not the first time I'm answering it, but hey, repetition, it is necessary. And that is, do I actually need to wear sunscreen every single day? What if I'm mostly indoors? Yes, absolutely. Ultraviolet radiation can come through window glass, so if you're sitting next to a window, UVA rays, they are affecting your skin, but we know cumulatively over time, those little small exposures like going out to your mailbox, taking the trash out, they do add up over time to contribute. In terms of reducing the visible signs of sun damage, when studies look at sunscreen specifically, those who wear sunscreen daily, they tend to get the best results in comparison to people who just put it on intermittently when they remember to or when they think they might be spending time outside, like at the beach, for example. For days that you're mostly indoors, I suggest looking more towards sunscreens that feel more like moisturizers and are super lightweight. Maybe not like, you don't necessarily need like an SPF 100 water resistant intense formula, but I do like to remind people that sunscreens are moisturizers, and if you are already in the habit of putting on a moisturizer in the morning, why aren't you using a moisturizing product that has sunscreen in it? Because then you kill two birds with one stone. You really get a lot more bang for your buck that way, and it becomes a no-brainer. It's not even something that you think of, and as a result, you are the person that's going to benefit from daily sunscreen. They're moisturizers, and many of them also have antioxidants, which may help address some of these other concerns. The Round Lab Birch Juice Moisturizing Sunscreen SPF 50 PA4+. This one is super hydrating, yeah, very lightweight, almost has like a fluid-like consistency. Again, it's one of those that does not feel like you're putting sunscreen on. It really just feels like you are moisturizing. It is a chemical sunscreen with some amazing UV filters for broad spectrum protection. Zero white cast to be had with this product. Then there's the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Hyaluronic Water Fit Sun Serum SPF 50 PA4+. Big surprise, you guys already know Skin 1004 is like one of my go-to brands. This one, like the Round Lab one, is super lightweight. It's a chemical sunscreen again with some amazing filters for broad spectrum protection. No white cast, very lightweight, very breathable. And one of the things I want to point out about these too is like they allow for good evaporation of sweat. They don't feel oppressive. And so if you do get a little overheated, you're gonna not feel as hot because you're perspiring normally. It's not, being slowed down by a heavy film on the surface of the skin. These are amazing. They really help to hydrate and lubricate the skin surface. I mean, their benefits extend above and beyond their ability to offer sunscreen. So don't just look at them as this thing that you have to do. Look at them as this thing that is doing a lot for you. Both of these layer really well under makeup as well. All right, so here's a question that you're probably asking yourself at this point, and that is, how do I combine some of these together into a routine that won't stress me out, that is not too complicated, that I don't have to like pull out a textbook to figure out who, what, when, and where. All right, let's talk about the morning routine. The morning routine is when you would want to use the clay mask because you wake up and your face looks shiny and you don't want to go throughout the day looking like that. Use the clay mask to problematic areas first thing in the morning, okay, like the forehead, the T-zone. Leave it on again for about 5 minutes, rinse it off with a little lukewarm water. If you need to wash your face, wash your face. Not everyone needs to wash their face. Some people do fine only washing their face at the end of the day, whereas others, especially those who are oily, they need to do morning and evening to remove that oil. That's you, wash your face. After you've rinsed the cleanser off, or just to a bare dry face at this point, depending on where you are starting the routine, that would be a great time to bring in the Abib Glutathione Serum or the Skin 1004 Madagascar Poremizing Fresh Ampule. Again, antioxidants, hydrating, depending on which one you want to use. Sometimes those hydrating serums alone are more than adequate. Sometimes just a hydrating lightweight serum alone is really enough to plump the skin, and then you can move on to sunscreen. But some people who may be feeling a little dry, they might want to come in with something a little more barrier targeted, in which case bring Haru Haru in. Lightweight, moisturizing, doesn't feel like you have a heavy barrier cream on, and you can come on over that with your sunscreen. That's the most important thing. For the simplest, most streamlined routine, you can just wake up, pop up, and put one of these sunscreens on your face, and hey, you are starting the day off just fine, okay? If that's all you do. Let's talk about the night routine. I do recommend everybody wash their face at the end of the day. Remove dirt, oil, cosmetic residue, all sorts of stuff that settles on the skin surface and can generate a lot of inflammation. Sebum breaks down. You want to wash your face at the end of the day, okay? And I've got lots of videos on the best cleansers and choosing cleansers and all that. Then, to slightly damp skin, you might want to apply the antioxidant serum from Abib. You might want to apply the Poremizing Ampule from Skin 1004. Again, like I said, you can use those twice a day. They pack hydration as well. They feel lightweight. They feel moisturizing. Then is a good time to put on your retinaldehyde if you're using it, okay? So for example, if you do choose to use the Purito one we talked about, this would be a great time to put it on. It does have that tacky texture to it, but you could put that on at this point. Some people will feel just fine, but some people will feel like their skin's a little dry at this point, or just like they need a little bit something more, or maybe you're one of those people who's coming in with an impaired barrier. In that case, this is a great time to put on that Haru Haru Wonder Milky Essence, okay? We didn't talk about richer night creams. Check out my video on my top Korean moisturizers for sensitive skin. Any of those would be amazing as a final step here if you really want to, seal it all in, barrier rich cream. Check that video out. Lots of recommendations. But as far as how to order these things that we've talked about today to address these specific concerns, that would be my recommendation. All right, guys, so those are the answers to some really common questions that I get on my channel about dark spots, skin texture, prominent pores, skincare routine, all of the things. And I really hope we covered a lot of bases in today's video and got you the information that you were looking for, and that the explanations of how these ingredients ingredients work to address these things was really helpful to you. And again, a big thank you to STYLEVANA for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, if you're going to buy any product from their website, make sure you're using my code, okay? Because why spend more when you can save? And if you're one of the lucky first 400, you might even get something for free. Check the description box for the details on the savings and links to everything that I mentioned today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.